what is your intention for 2025? Now, this is not going to be a goal setting or resolution based episode. Instead, this is going to be about who you're ready to step into being in 2025. So buckle up and get ready because here we go. Hey, everybody, Penny here, and we are rolling into 2025 hot. I do not know if you were feeling this energy. We're going to be touching on the woo today, especially with what's happening today, December 30th. Sometimes I batch my episodes, and sometimes I'm just like, there's something coming. Don't record yet. I do like to plan my content, but it's just not always lined up with what's happening. But before we dive into what's happening today on the 30th and what's coming in the next few days and how you can harness this with your intent for 2025 to, everybody's using the word glow up, have your glow up year, have your most expansive year ever, have your most aligned year ever, whatever you choose to call it. There are a couple of things I want to share. Number one, applications for the 2025 Sedona retreat are open. So email me, you can comment on socials, or you can visit the website, pennychason.com/Sedona, and get the details on the all-inclusive retreat. That's right, it's all-inclusive. All you got to do is show up, experience transformation, and enjoy. The other important thing that is got to be shared, the 2024 tuition rates are expiring at midnight tomorrow night. 1/1/2025, the tuition for the professional hypnosis certification trainings are going up. So even if you're not sure which date you want to attend, go lock in that tuition. And then when you get the confirmation email, you can let me know if you're not sure which date, and we can move forward accordingly from there. There are 3 cohorts enrolling: February, March, and September. So be sure to save your spot because they are filling up quickly. Now, what is this about the energy? I'm all about the mind, hypnosis, activating the subconscious. But at the end of the day, the beautiful thing about hypnosis is that when we quiet our mind and we get in that state of focused attention, the chatter that drowns out our intuition, that keeps us from having the awareness of the spiritual nature of our soul, is subdued. It's kind of just sitting over in the corner, hanging out, and we can have a very deep experience. People who use hypnosis do everything from reprogram their minds, new habits, get rid of old habits, things they don't like anymore, to fundamentally shifting their beliefs and identity. When practicing self-hypnosis or listening to hypnosis audios, sometimes people will spontaneously experience what I call bliss state, where they're fully connected with that energy, with their higher self. It can look like a lot of different things. I work with clients, sometimes intentionally, to guide them to a soul connection. Periodically, I do open up spots on my calendar for soul connection sessions. It's not always that way. So if you ever see me share on social media or an email that I've opened up spots for soul connection sessions, you better grab them, because I don't do it that often. But when we're looking at the energies at play the next few weeks, today is the perfect day on this black moon. I had never heard of a black moon before, but it's because it only happens about once every 29 years, which is pretty pretty impressive. So a black moon is a second new moon in the month. It's also the new moon at the end of the calendar year. And I'm very specific in how I say that. It's not the true new year, but we're going into the energies of 1/1. If you're into numerology and the energetics of numbers, some people believe that that is a very strong portal for manifestation. And then there are also some things happening energetically on the 11th of January. Now, if you're not into the spiritual in terms of the aspects of the interactions of the planets and the energies, you can just, if that's not resonating, just discard that piece. But notice what I'm sharing with you about intention. The planet has gone through a major shift this last year. 2020, the pandemic, was a catalyst. It was a catalyst that had to happen. It actually started before then, but that was the biggest catalyst of, the lockdowns and people being at home and really having the opportunity to reevaluate what is important, what is the purpose in life, and how can I make my life better? How can I do something different? Because a lot of people were working from home. They weren't in the hectic day-to-day stress. I don't have to go into that with you because I'm sure it's, we forget easily, but you haven't really forgotten. It's just not top of mind for you right now. But this past year, we have had more of this change. And a lot of the structures are falling away. Water structures. These are belief systems, paradigms, ways of always doing things. Through 2025, we're going to see a lot more change. We're going to see a lot of shift. It may not always feel easy or look easy, but there is immense and limitless potential for your growth here. Now, a lot of people, when they think of limitless and growth, they think money, finances, those things. When we expand ourselves and we create opportunities for finances to flow into our life, that will happen. But that's not where we want our focus to be. We want our focus to be on who we're being. Who are we going to be? How am I going to show up in 2025? What do I want to see happen? If there's healing that needs to happen in your life, set your intention around that healing. And I have a very, I was going to say funny, but really more ironic caveat to share on that. I will do that towards the end, but now is the time. Now is the time to really align with who you're here to be. And so many people will discount different things. Well, I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not a business person. I'm not this. I'm not that. You could be standing behind the register at Dunkin' Donuts and have a massive impact and be living your Dharma. Abundance is not about money. Abundance is about everything that we have in our life. And I can't express that enough. People get hung up on the money aspect and it triggers all of these blocks. And, they're like, well, I can't do that. That's never possible for me. There's so many aspects. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but we can have impact in ways we never imagined. And we're all meant to be abundant. We're all meant to have more than enough. Does that mean everyone's meant to be a multimillionaire? No. And I have a feeling this year, the financial structures are going to begin to shift with the implementation of AI, robotics, and all of these things. I fully believe that the way society functions on some level is going to shift and change. And people who are very much in their stories around money and the meaning that you've attached to money and what you've allowed money to represent in your life. This is going to be one of the things that's going to be addressed. And I swear I was not going to talk about this on this podcast episode. This is just flowing through, and I'm sharing with you what's coming to me as I'm talking here. But there may be parts of you that are ready to be healed. If they haven't been healed, if you didn't take care of it in 2024, take care of it now. Think about who you want to be this year. Where would you like your life to be at the end of 2025? What does he or she look like? What do you believe? What do your relationships look like? What do you believe is possible for you? And for just a moment, with all the other stuff that says, just get away from the money. Get away from the money. This is about you. Because when you're being who you're here to be and you're actually living your purpose and your passion, the universe is going to support that, provided you allow yourself to receive what the universe is attempting to give you. Allow yourself to receive what the universe is attempting to give you. We get in our heads, we get super focused that success has to look a certain way, that things can only come to us a certain way. And these are some of the structures that I'm talking about that will be breaking down and falling away. And the more prepared you are to move into that, to step into that, the easier this is going to be for you. So in the energies of the 30th, the 31st, and the 1st, set your intention, not a resolution, not goals. Set your intention of who you're ready to be. Then go and look. If I had this, what am I thinking? Who am I being? What are some of the steps? What are some of the simple steps that move me in that direction? And each and every day, when you wake up, I want you to ask yourself, is this moving me towards my goal? If the answer is no, then the answer should be no. Now, intention is powerful, but intention without some sort of action, and it can be inspired action, meaning that something could come to mind and you're like, yes, this is my intention. And one day you could wake up and you're thinking about your intention and your intuition says, you know what? Don't go into the office today. You don't have clients. Go out and just go have some fun. And in the midst of having all of that fun, some really creative things happen. Maybe you meet someone, you have a connection, and the door is kicked open for big change to come into your life. So we get to take action. We get to take inspired action, whether it's through networks, relationships, whatever it may be, going to the gym, hiring a nutritionist, whatever your goals are. But set that intention and have that intention front and center for yourself every single day. And when things come across your path, again, ask yourself, does this move me towards where I want to go? And that's how you move forward. Now, for the healing piece, because I mentioned I was going to come back to this caveat, I saw something the other day from someone. They made the comment that their intention for 2024 had been healing and growth. And they thought it was going to be a fun year. And it's been one of the hardest years of their life. I've mentioned this on past episodes this year. I had set my intention to be at a very specific place in my business by the end of this year. And it did not happen yet because I had to make way to allow that to happen. And the way things were set up, it was not actually going to support that outcome. So the universe literally had to pull apart and help guide me in a process of removing what was not going to allow that to happen and to put into place the things that would allow that to happen. Healing and growth can be messy, but when it gets messy, how long it stays messy is 100% under your influence. It depends on your awareness. It depends on how quickly you choose to move through things, or if you choose to lament and stay in the stories that, oh my God, everything's falling apart. This one did this and that one said that. And, now my family's created all of this chaos and this happened and that happened. That makes you a victim. That is not empowering. So when we can stay in our personal power in those moments of growth where emotions are coming up, things are being processed, we're being faced with beliefs and stories we never knew we had, and, choices that we had made, and we're realizing, okay, so it's not that it was a bad choice, but it wasn't the best choice. What do I do with this now? How do I move forward? Just simply acknowledge it and take action and move on. But a lot of people don't do that. They get in that emotion, they get overwhelmed by it, and they don't know how to get out of it. And the way you get out of it is you make a decision on something. It can be very tiny. Make a decision on something and move forward. So these energies going into 2025 are very potent. They're very powerful. Consciousness is continuing to elevate and expand. The universe is always expanding. But you can't take for granted you're always going to expand with it, because if you choose to take your mindset back into the old ways, you will go back into those old ways. And here's the kicker. When it's interesting, because so many times, if we have a moment where we've taken those 2 steps back, we can feel as if things are really, really bad. They're not. Number one, you're not starting from the same place when you started the first time. Number two, it feels so much worse because you know what it feels like to be in the other place. And if we choose to not go back into that expansive place, if we choose to stay in our mess, it's going to be more painful because we know what we should be doing. We know how we should be being. And for whatever reason, we're choosing not to be in that place. So even though the universe is always expanding and evolving, and we're always expanding and evolving when it comes to our mindset and where we are mentally and emotionally with our intentions and following our purpose, which your purpose is to just be. People always turn it into something big and wild and exotic, but your purpose is to just be and to follow your intuition and your heart. That's all your purpose is. But if we choose to not go back to that higher perspective, that higher level of awareness we've had, we feel that a lot more painfully because we know where we're supposed to be. We're choosing not to be there. The universe doesn't test us, it reflects us. And that's kind of a hard pill to swallow for some people. I see it the universe is testing you. God is testing you. No, no, we're 100% influence over the circumstances of our life. It's one of the most powerful quotes I ever learned. And I don't know where it originated, but I learned it from one of my mentors. And it's true. We get to choose how we see life. We get to choose the decisions we make every morning. No one is at our bedside with a gun to our head in the morning saying, you will brush your teeth before you take your shower. And you will make your coffee with creamer. I mean, that sounds absurd and stupid. And I know they're absurd and stupid examples, but the same holds true for every decision or choice that you make in life, or the choice of not making a choice. In 2025, it's yours. It is laid out in front of you. You can do anything you want with 2025. You can go anywhere you want. It's all up to you. And today, now, these are the energies. These are the energies to pull it in, to call it in. And if you have been feeling out of sorts the last several days, it's just because there's a lot happening celestially that brings those energies. I find it intriguing that people discount these things, right? They will be shocked and amazed to see videos of animals out at Yellowstone, for example. The herd will be like migrating for some strange reason. They're like, oh my God, what's going on? This is like odd behavior. They can sense the weather coming. They can sense earthquakes. They sense shifts in the electromagnetic field. The moon, the gravitational pull of the moon, pulls a bulge of water around the earth. That's what creates our tides. So it's not actually the water coming in, it is the moon acting as a magnet that pulls at the ocean in a way that there is a bulge of water. And as the moon is in different positions around the earth, that bulge of water moves. And that's why you have high tide in one place, low tide in another, and all of these things. People love to say that, you can use these high frequency ultrasonic waves and dissolve away cancer cells. But at the same time, they don't believe that the electromagnetic effects, the solar energy, the solar radiation of the sun impacts our moods, our sleep cycles, how we physically feel in our body. You can't have one without the other. I mean, you can deny it, but they exist. And these things are impacting us and affecting us on levels far beyond what you can even imagine. But anyway, take this episode, take it for what you will. If you're interested in the hypnosis certification training, that 2024 tuition goes away Tuesday night at midnight. Now, everyone who pays the 2024 tuition, you're getting grandfathered into everything that is coming in the hypnosis certification training and the portal, the support, all of that. My people get grandfathered in. So if you're interested in that, jump on that now. And if you're interested in the Sedona retreat and you have a business, here's what I want you to know. The retreat is all about up-leveling who you are, but we're also doing a photo shoot at the retreat where everyone gets their personal photos done in the desert to capture the energy of the transformation. So you could possibly write the retreat off as a business expense, at least part of it. So check with your accountant, and then all of that can be written off for 2024 and offset your taxes. I'm always all for offsetting the taxes while at the same time being grateful that I make so much money I get to pay taxes. Having to pay taxes is a blessing because it means that you are bringing in abundance. I will be back next week with another episode. We got some really cool workshops and master classes coming up this year, and I cannot wait to invite you. I'll see you then.